Step into the vibe, oh yeah. Feel the rhythm rise high, we're living life. Let's fly, off tap life. Sky's the limit, no shy. Off tap life.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Age of Origins video. And in this particular video, we're going to talk about a very hot topic, possibly controversial. This will maybe come across as a hot take, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you the truth about spending in Age of Origins. And should you do it? I'm going to tell you it like it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to keep it real. And at the end of the day, I hope that you guys understand that ultimately, this is a video with an opinion. And my opinion is based on a few years now of playing the game. So I feel like I know a little something about the game. So that being said, I am going to answer this question in a very kind of complex type of way initially, but I'm going to elaborate and I'm going to explain why, and it will make sense. So here goes. Should you spend in Age of Origins? The answer is yes. The answer is also no. And the answer is also, it depends, right? And let me explain. And before I explain that, I want to first talk about the truth about spending in Age of Origins, which also really isn't limited to just Age of Origins. It's really about any game, period. Right? Should you spend on these games that you have on your cell phones? Should you spend on these games that you're playing on your tablets, on your PCs, and all these different things? Should you spend it? Well, let me present you a little bit of history so that this can help kind of, at least in some shape, form, or fashion, make you feel less bad about spending on a game on your app in 2025. Now, look, guys, here's the situation. Since the history of gaming, since the first games came out, it's always cost money to play games. It has. Back in the day, people were playing pinball machines. You had to get quarters and put them in there to play those games. Then they had video games like Pac-Man and all these other games. And guess what? You had to put quarters in to play them. And then they had some even more technical looking games at one point that the quality was just a step above, and you had to pay like $1 to play those games. And then you had to freaking start playing games that was $2. And next thing you know, they had games that cost $5. Like, the game pricing to play games has been ongoing even before the first console came out, right? Consoles. Let's talk about consoles. When you go and you wanted to play your favorite game back in the day before the existence of such things as cell phones, well, guess what? They had things like Atari. They had things like Commodore 64s, and they had PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had Nintendos. They had freaking all these other Segas, all kinds of stuff. They had all these different systems, right, that you had to buy outright first before you even got the opportunity to play the game that you want to play. Oh yeah, by the way, you've got to pay for that game as well. And as the technology improved, as the technology got better, the cost to play those games increased. The cost to buy those games became more expensive. And as a result, you ended up having a situation where you want to go and play a certain game and you come find out it's not available on that console. So suddenly you have to go and buy an Xbox or something else because they don't have it on PlayStation. And then you're like, oh crap. So you've just outlaid another bit of money, right? Next thing you know, your title itself, every year they're making a new version of it. So you have to get the latest one. You're paying for that. You're paying for all the games that you want to play, right? Every single game, you're paying for those particular games. And because you love gaming, I think one thing is kind of like, most people, when you had a system like Commodore 64, what am I saying? What's it? Well, yeah, I guess. No, wait, no, not system. When I'm talking about, I've what I'm saying, those game consoles like freaking Atari and Commodore 64 was a computer, PC, but I think there's probably some games on it. I don't know. But anyways, there was like these other gaming systems, like, your PlayStation originals, your Nintendos, the first ones and things like that. And guess what? You would end up buying probably all the games that were out. And every time something new drops, you'd get it, because the games back then weren't really long-term development type games. Like, games back then were like, you could finish it in a day or two. You know what I mean? Like, you could clear all the levels maybe in 3 days, 4 days. Like, games were kind of like, if you sat there and you kept going long enough, you would freaking just end up clearing it and it'd be a done deal. On the flip side of that, so that was one reason, for example, why you would go out and buy tons of games, right? You'd buy everything that comes out because, well, I finished that one. What's next? That kind of situation, right? But then when you had like games like pinball machines and the other gaming type things that exist, like, like you've got your Pac-Mans and all those type of games, like video arcade games or pole position or racing games or whatever, you would end up spending a lot of money just to try to beat the high score, right? Like, everyone wants to be number one, and you're like, man, I don't want to be top 5. I want to be top 1. You're chasing the high score. You're dropping those coins into the machine, right? That's what they used to do back in those times of gaming. You weren't trying to beat a score against people around the world on your phone. You was trying to beat a score from people who've come to that particular machine to play it. And then you'd probably hop in your car and you'd probably drive around to find other places with that same game, and you'd see the high score there and you're like, oh crap, I want to take this high score out too. So my point is that you always spent to play games. If you went to Chuck E. Cheese, you might get a pizza with some game tokens, but you might want extra game tokens. So, hey, you're going to drop $20, you're going to drop $30. What you going to do to get those game tokens? You're going to pay for them, right? When I lived in Japan, and I went to like some of the arcade places over there and stuff, which are crazy. You guys know they're on top of that stuff. They're like the leaders in gaming and that kind of stuff, right? They're on it. That's what they do very well, amongst a lot of other things. But you go in there, you get like a card, and they would load this card. You drop like, $40, $50, whatever on this card. And then you stick the card in a machine that reads the machine. You get your credit and you just play the game freaking till your card ends. And most of the time when you finish doing that, you're going to recharge your card, get another one or whatever, and fill it up, and you keep on playing, right? So my point is, gaming has always cost money. That's the history lesson. It's always cost. Doesn't matter. Gaming has never been free. So get your head around that part first before you start thinking about, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to spend, a few dollars on a game on my cell phone or this or that. Guess what, guys? Gaming's always cost money. A lot of you probably don't think about it that way, but if you really think about it, it's always been a cost. Times have changed where now it's more convenient to play games. And games have a different type of formula around them now. A lot of them are long story, long, like just there's a certain word I want to use. Just long-term storytelling. You know what I mean? Like they're games that like Age of Origins, right? You guys who've played this game, this game is it's the long game. It's not oh my gosh, I've just played it for a few days and I finished it and I'm done. No, this is a game that you pay for a few years and you're still not done, right? Because it's a long-term game. You're slowly building up your castle, your city, you're building it up, you're building things, and you're growing your strength, and you're doing the things necessary to achieve that over time, right? It's not something that happens overnight, right? For most people. Right. There's some people who obviously have very, very, very deep pockets, and they're able to facilitate these growth spurts quicker. But generally speaking, even for them, it takes time, right? Certain things you can't rush. When you upgrade your city, when your troops die, when you're healing them, when you're recruiting them, it takes as long as it takes, unless you're going to spend speeds to speed up the process. And most people, depending on the circumstance, the situation, they like to save those for emergencies or certain situations where they really need to have those speeds. So they don't like to waste them because they're really valuable, right? They're really valuable. So now that you understand the history of gaming and you understand that you've always had to spend on games, that's always cost money, no matter if you was playing at home on a console or you was playing in a video arcade. I used to own restaurants. I've actually owned a few restaurants, and I've had video games inside of my restaurants. I had everything. I had pool tables in my restaurants. I've had racing games in my restaurants. And I used to always have to make sure that I had tons of freaking change, like tons, man, tons of coins. I had to make sure I had lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of coins, because people would come in there, they'd want to play the games, and they'd be like, yo, let me get $20 worth. You know, that kind of situation, man. So you had to have the freaking coins there to accommodate everyone. And let me tell you, man, sometimes it was such a challenge to make sure you had the coins. But after a while, you know, you can start going into your own games, and, you know, you can get the coins back out and recycle them, so you'd always have them. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's it was work. It was a lot of work, dude. A lot of work. My point is, it's always cost money. That was a big portion of my, you know, the money that I made in my restaurants was from the game machines and the pool tables and stuff like that. Like all that, the basketball, all that stuff. Those things generated money for my restaurants, and it was, you know, it plays a big part in a lot of people's establishments to this day. You know, like this very day, you can go somewhere and people are still dropping coins into games. My point, again, is it's always cost money. Now that we got that out of the way, because that's the truth about the history of gaming, and it's really the truth about spending in Age of Origins. It's no different. It's no different than if you were spending on a game back in the day, or a game freaking from freaking your childhood, or whatever the case is, right? It's just the reality. Now, this is the question where it gets interesting, right? Because then we go, well, okay, but should you do it? Should you do it? And the reason I say yes, no, it depends. Because, well, first of all, that's like asking, should you spend in Age of Origins is like asking, should you spend on food? Should you spend on going to Disneyland? Should you spend on entertainment? Should you spend on a hobby? Should you spend on freaking new shoes? Should you spend on a new dress? Should you spend on, you know, whatever it is? Should you spend on anything? Question mark. Right? Only you really know the answer to whether or not you should do it. Right? And that's why I said yes, no, maybe, because maybe you're not in a great enough position or a good enough position from your budgeting. You look at your monthly budget, you look at what you've got to, your outlays and what you got to do and this and that. And maybe you can't afford to be dropping money on a game of any sort. You can't go to the video game. You can't go to the arcade. You can't go to Disneyland. You can't go to like anywhere. You can't buy a console. You can't afford, you just can't do it. So in your case, you shouldn't do it. Don't do it. Don't feel pressured. Don't do it just because everyone else is doing it or saying that you should do it if it's something you can't afford to do. You have to know what works for you and within your means. Play the game within your means. So I say now, no for you. Don't do it. No spending for you if you can't do it. If you can't afford to sacrifice $1, $2, $5, whatever the case is, on this game, don't do it. That's an answer that only you know, whether you can afford to do it, okay? Don't do anything that's going to jeopardize your livelihood, okay? If you've got especially a family and kids and other people depending on you, and you have freaking, you know, a budget where every month you're cutting it close and you know you don't have the extra money to put towards this game, I tell you right now, don't do it. Play for free. Figure it out. I'm going to make a separate video on telling you how to play for free. Okay, so that's why I say yes, no, because in your case, that's probably a no. You shouldn't spend if you can't afford to do it. No, you shouldn't spend on anything that you can't afford to do. You shouldn't be buying new clothes if you can't afford to do it. You shouldn't be going out to eat if you can't afford to do it. You shouldn't be going to a bar if you can't afford to do it. You shouldn't be going to the restaurant on Friday night. Everyone else is saying, hey, guys, come on, let's go eat. Let's go out. Let's have a night in town. If you can't afford to do it, don't let peer pressure get you in trouble when next following week you can't feed your children. No, you should not do it if that is you, okay? Only you can answer that. On the flip side, let's say your situation is you have a bit of money left over every month where you can budget a certain amount. And by the way, if you are going to be a spender in this game or a spender of any sort of entertainment, perhaps make a budget. Something that you know that you can manage, something that you know won't get you in trouble, something that you know that if you stay within that confines, everything will be okay. Okay? And a realistic budget. Don't go stupid. Don't go over the top. Don't spend more than you need to just to keep up with the Joneses. Okay? Don't because you want to be freaking competitively keeping up with other people in the game and it's going to put your life at risk. Your livelihood is going to mean you don't eat for 5 days. Don't do it. But if you can't afford it, make a realistic budget and stick to your budget. Don't go over your budget because then you're going to screw yourself. Do not do that. So if you can afford to do it, yes, you should do it because it will further your advancement in the game quicker. It will absolutely give you things and benefits that you can't get from being a free-to-play player. Period. There's certain things you can't get for free in this game. You have to spend to acquire it. Okay? Like, do you understand that? There's literally some things that you can't even get for gold in the game. Even if you have the gold, you can't get. Did you know that? Did you know? Did you really think about that? Here's a good example. This is something that gets overlooked. They've got that freaking, I just wish I remembered the name of it now and I don't. But there's this monster zombie kind of rally thing, like a freaking item that is for like when you're killing monsters, zombies, right? If you're killing zombies, it will speed up your speed around the freaking territory, right? You know, you'll move quicker. You know, so if you're killing zombies, you can apply this. It lasts for like 2 hours or something, and that will make you quicker. You can actually. Guess what? You can't actually go and buy one of those in the regular game, like the, gold shop where you buy items within the game. Not talking about where you buy things with money, but where you buy things with gold, right? If you want to go buy that with gold, guess what? You can't. Now, the only alternative is maybe there's an event where you might get that item for free or something. You know, maybe there might be a time where Camel's giving out some rewards and you can maybe get that for free. But generally speaking, if you want that, you have to go and buy the pack that has the 2 one-day shields in it and the 12 hours worth of speed ups and the 3-day VIP buff thing that it has, to activate your VIP. You got to buy that pack and that's in the weeklies. The weekly specials. And you have to buy that pack to be able to get that little cool thing that will speed up things for you when you're killing zombies. Probably something people don't know if you've never bought that pack before or you've never ended that item. That's why I want to make some of these videos to actually enlighten people about certain things that maybe you don't know about the game. Because there's probably a lot of things that maybe you don't know. Especially if you've only just started or you're in a newer nation, things like that. It's so hot in here, by the way. What happened to can we have a little fan? Just a little. Hopefully it won't be too noisy, but can I have a little something? But yeah, so, there's certain things that you can't get without spending. For example, the new lion that has just dropped. You can't get that for free. There's no path for you to acquire that, being a free player. There's no path for you to acquire that, okay? If you're a free-to-play, 100% free-to-play player, there's no path for you to get the lion for free. There's no path for you to get the dragon for free if you're a free-to-play, 100% free-to-play player. Unless you're super lucky. I mean, you'd have to have crazy luck to get enough marbles, dropping joyful marbles that give you enough points to get you to the second reward level that you need to get that first freaking fragment for the bird / dragon, phoenix, flying rat thing. You call it whatever fits you. So there's a lot of things like that in the game where you can't get it unless you spend something, right? That's just the truth. It's a sad truth, but it's the truth. I'll tell you one thing I found was interesting even, right? So if you wanted, here's a really fun fact. And this one is actually really, there's only really one place I know where I can get this anytime I want, is a 2-hour shield. Have you guys noticed the 2-hour shield? You can't just go to the shop and buy a 2-hour shield. No. The minimum you can get is an 8-hour. You can get a 1 day. You can get a 3 day. You can't get the 2-hour. Right? Even in the game shop itself, where you have to, where the daily sales and the other part of the shop, the regular stuff, I don't think I've ever seen a 2-hour shield in any package. I think I've never seen it. There might be one hiding somewhere that I've missed, but as far as I know, I've never seen it. Literally, the only place I can get a 2-hour shield is in the Alliance store, the Alliance shop, where you use your honor points. You get your honor points. There are 1,000 honor points, and you get them from there. That's where I get my 2-hour freaking shields from. I literally, unless they, one was dropped in a reward situation at some point, I've never gotten them anywhere else. Never gotten them anywhere else, as far as I know. That's the only place I can get them. So yeah, that's the interesting thing, right? Like, you would think, 2-hour shield. Oh, surely you can buy. Nah, you can't buy those. Only in the Alliance shop. So my point is that there's a lot of items like that. Like, I'm just being general. I'm not even saying, like, the whole list of things. There's tons of stuff that you can't get if you're a free-to-play player. You have no access to. Now, Alliance shop, obviously, if you're a free-to-play player, you can get the 2-hour shields. So don't you worry about that. And some of you are probably wondering, why would you want a 2-hour shield? It's only 2 hours long. Well, guys, if you're fighting in Void or something, you would want to only use a 2-hour shield. Why are you going to waste an 8-hour or freaking 1 day or whatever? Unless you have tons of them, which, hey, I've had tons of 8-hour shields that I've dropped on my city lots of times. Actually, I've had more of those than 2 hours most times, because I don't usually like to use my Alliance honor for the 2-hour shields. I usually end up buying teleports or something else. Attack boosts, health boosts. It just kind of, whatever the flavor of the month is. Sometimes the 8-hour freaking speed up. You're like, freaking, man, recruitment. Let me get that extra freaking bit of troops with an 8-hour. You know what I mean? That kind of situation. So, but my point is, yes, guys, you should spend if you can spend, because it will advance your city quicker, and you'll find that that's the only way to get certain things and to cross certain thresholds, and to also, more importantly, do it in a quicker fashion. Otherwise, it will take you a very, 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 very long time to grow your city without having a little help from spending here and there. It's facts. Now, can you play the game completely for free without spending? Absolutely, yes. Is there ways to grow your city without spending a dime? Yes, there is. Absolutely, yes. There is. 100%. So, again, it really depends on your situation, whether or not you should do it or not. Like, at the end of the day, spending in a game is like anything else. Some people have hobbies of freaking, sewing, cars, freaking, they have all kinds of hobbies. You guys know, there's hobbyists that do all kinds of things, and they spend a lot of money on their hobby. Like, people even have big fish tanks, and they have fish that they're collecting, and they do all this stuff and whatever, and the cost of maintaining and buying fish and feeding them and all. Like, that's their hobby, and that's what they do. That's their hobby, right? Form of entertainment on the weekends, Sunday, Saturday. You want to go out, you want to go clubbing, you want to go party, you want to have a good time, you want to go drink a bit. I mean, these things cost money. You want to go to movies? Good luck going to the movies, buying some popcorn and a freaking Slurpee and some freaking Juby fruits, and it not costing you a bit of money to do. You're going to have a bit of money you've outlaid for that one night of fun, entertainment. It is a part of life. And if your thing that you enjoy doing is this game, guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. Who told you there was something wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with that. if you want to go and play freaking Age of Origins and drop freaking some money on this game because it makes you happy, gives you joy, it's your fun little thing that you do, and to give you your little bit of entertainment, or if it's your hobby, it's a thing that you enjoy, and this is your fun thing, this is your escape from the rest of the BS of real life, this is your moment to shine and feel like you're really awesome. It's because you got the strong city and you like the feeling of burning other cities. Ultimately, guys, it's your life and you have the right to live it how you want. And if you want to spend in this game, you should do it. If you can afford to, do it. Why not? If it's your money that you freaking have a budget that can somehow fit into a monthly little system that works for you, and look, use your budget to your means, right? So hey, there's nothing wrong with having a budget of only, say, $50 a month. Hey, that's okay. If that's your budget, figure out how to maximize that $50 a month and spend on things that will really help your city grow. I can tell you right now, officer equipment is the way to go. Hands down. Hands down. There's just no even conversation around that. Officer equipment. Get your officer equipment. That's where you want to live. The equipment alloy, things like that. Just freaking officer equipment. Build up your officers. Officer skill books. Officer equipment. That's where you want to live. That's your little space where it doesn't matter if you're a big spender or a little spender. That should be where you're focused right now. And as a free-to-play player, you can get tons of equipment, alloy, and different things. The essence stone. You get these things from events for free. Free. Completely free. All you got to do is actually participate. That's the hard part for some of you. We've noticed because a lot of you aren't participating in events. We're not hating. We know you got lives. A lot of you have actual legit reasons why you can't be there all the time. That's okay. We understand. However, sometimes if you ain't making it to certain things, it could be because you're just bad at managing your time. Or you just don't care. Or you're just a farmer. You don't want to go and play in the event anyways. Let's be real. Some of you just want to be Farmville. And hey, I'm not judging. I'm just stating facts. This is a truth video. Whether you want to hear it or not, it's the truth. So, this is my thoughts on spending in general in Age of Origins in any game. Yes, you should do it if you can. If you can afford it, why not? Go ahead, drop a couple dollars here and there. Why not? If it gives you joy, puts a smile on your face, if that's your entertainment. A lot of people ever since COVID stopped going out, right? People don't go out anymore to the bars, to the clubs, to crowded places. People don't go out to arcades. People don't go out to Disneyland. People don't go out to do stuff that they used to do all the time. A lot of people stay home now. They find their own entertainment at home, right? Maybe watching Netflix. Again, how much do you spend a month on your streaming services? Right? Some people, that's their fun. That's their entertainment. They've got an entertainment budget every month. Netflix, freaking HBO, freaking whatever your streaming preference of choice. There's so many out there. Jeez, there's so many options. Name one. And some people have multiples. Some people have got 4 or 5 because, again, there's a certain movie you want to watch. It's not on Netflix. Are you kidding me? Are you telling me? Don't tell me I've got to get Prime Video. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man. Peacock, really? My point is that everything you want may not be where you freaking want it to be, and you end up spending to get what you want, and that's the same with games. And one of the differences, what I was going to say about gaming these days as well, is that a lot of people kind of have one game that they really focus on, that they really enjoy. You know what I mean? That's their game. Like Age of Origins, for many of us, that's what we play. That's our game. That's our game that we put all of our time and effort in outside of real life and other things we're doing, right? We go, Age of Origins is our game. That's what we play right now. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some people probably playing 2 or 3, maybe other games too. You probably notice those ones because they're the ones that when you need them in Age of Origins, they're nowhere to be seen. I'm just joking, but it's probably true. Hey, I'm not hating. I'm just saying. And look, again, it's your life. You got to play the games of life how you want to play it, and you got to play the games on your cell phone how you want to play it. On the games on your PC, how you want to play it. You got to do what you got to do that's going to be happy and resonates with you. If it makes you feel good, do it. You know? Do it. That's what you got to do. So I hope I've answered your question. I think I have. Should you spend? Yes, you should if you can. Why not? Why wouldn't you? If you can afford it, do it. It's going to help you grow quicker. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to help you be more of a stronger and beneficial fighting weapon for your alliance and for your nation. So, of course, we need those. We need the big spenders. We need the whales. We need the people who aren't afraid to freaking drop it like it's hot when they can, when something new comes out. We need those people because they help us win stuff. You know what I mean? We need them. We need those players. They're important in every nation, right? But if that's not you, don't attempt to be that person if it ain't you. If it ain't you, if the shoe don't fit, don't try to freaking squeeze your big freaking size 12s in there. Why are you trying to fit your big size 12 in a size 8? Like, what you doing? Why? Why are you doing that? Stop it. Stop it. You're size 12. Stop. Just stop. All right? So you know the answer to you. Do what's best for you. And that's also for your mental health as well, right? You know, you got to do things that can help that mental health. And gaming can be a good escape for your mental health, can help you. It can also be stressful and add to your mental health issues. Depends on your situation. But absolutely, look, if you can play for free and find a way to make it work for you where you're still maximizing and achieving great things without having to drop a lot of money or any money at all, and it's working for you and your nation, hey, congratulations, good for you. Keep doing what you're doing. If everyone's happy and you're happy, most importantly, that's all that matters, right? If you can't afford to, if you don't have the chinga, if you don't have freaking the ability, you go to McDonald's, you want a quarter pounder of cheese, but you only have enough for a cheeseburger, buy a freaking cheeseburger. Why are you going to freaking stretch yourself out and attempt to buy a freaking quarter pounder of cheese and you know you can't afford it? It's a no-brainer, dude. Same thing with the game. Do what you can if you can do it, and if you can't, don't. And if you want to do it, do it. If you can do it, and it's not going to interfere with the rest of your livelihood, do it. Why not? Go ahead. If that's you, do it. And if it's not you, don't do it, because you're going to mess up your livelihood and you're going to screw yourself. And your kid's going to be like, Mommy, I'm hungry. But like, sorry, can you please just be Peter Pan and imagine food and then pretend like it's there and you'll be full. So anyways, that's my thoughts. I think I've covered it pretty well. If you think of anything I've missed, or, you know, also you just have your own opinions or whatever, share in the comments below. But I do think that, like I said, gaming has been a paid activity since the beginning of time. You know, as far as, you know, video games are concerned and things like that. Like, obviously, you can buy basketball and go play basketball outside for free. But guess what? Basketball costs money. And these days, I don't really think there's a lot of outdoor places that people want to go play. They're usually going to go and pay somewhere to, you know, play inside or whatever situation is. I don't know. My point is, what we're talking about, games, like video games, gaming, video games, that stuff. It's always costs money. It will always cost money. And you have a right to be entertained, to have a hobby, to have fun, to do things that you enjoy. Go ahead and do it. If you can afford to do it, stay in your budget. Stay in your lane. Don't try to be in someone else's lane. You don't belong in that lane. If you can't be in that lane, don't go in that lane. Stay in this lane. This is your lane right here. Don't go over here. Don't go over here. Stay there. Be in your lane. Have a realistic budget. Don't falter. Don't go over it. Don't freaking mess up. Just stay where you need to be. If you do that, you'll be happy. Everything will be happy. You'll grow. You'll have fun. You'll have a good time. And everyone is, like The Rock says, know your role. Know your role. Everyone has a role in the game. Everyone has different levels where they're at, and they contribute differently accordingly. But ultimately, stay in your lane, do your thing, entertain yourself, have a good time, have fun, you know, and yeah, don't feel guilty about it. Because the truth is, it's entertainment, it's fun. Life's short. Do what makes you happy, boo-boo. All right. I think I've elaborated enough. I think I've made my point. I don't think I've missed any points. I had thought about this topic and, I kind of had like just some things I wanted to say about it, because it's the thing that we all hear people talking about the game, spenders and free-to-play players and all this kind of stuff. And I just think that it's important that anyone who does spend, don't feel guilty about it. You have the right to spend your money however you want to do it. No one has the right to tell you otherwise, unless you have a wife or something, or you might have to want to listen to that. Okay, just to keep the peace. I'm just saying. It's probably why some players disappear. You see them suddenly gone. You shouldn't have upset the wife, bro. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Go ahead. It's Christmas. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Give me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. And guys, look, most importantly, also respect each other. If someone's a spender, if someone's free, if someone's whatever, and they're doing their best, they're giving it their all, and you know that, no matter what their level is, no matter what their spend level is, just respect their ability of contribution that they're attempting to give. If you know that it's legitly them giving everything they got, like, just respect that. Also, let people be themselves. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of, like, some people get hate because they do spend. Like, there's people who hate spenders, like, especially whales. There's people who hate whales. They say that whales ruin the game. It's that, come on, stop. Just stop. If you stay in your lane and everyone stays in their lane, everyone has a place to play in the game. Like, seriously, just stop. It's a team effort at the end of the day. Let me tell you, if you got a whale, you're really going to really appreciate that when you're all in the same alliance fighting against someone else who happens to have a few of those whales. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You come up against an alliance that has tons of spenders. Everybody's spending from freaking C32 all the way up to freaking C41. Everyone's spending. You've got sleeper C32s that are freaking ready to freaking do over 1,000 LRA and freaking put you in your place. Like, come on. Like, respect everybody in the game. You just don't know how they rolling. If they're giving it and they're participating and you can see that they're contributing and stuff, hey, let them do them. It's a team effort. You're a team. There's no I in team. But, you know what I'm saying? Just stay in your lane. Do what you can do that works for you. That's all I'm saying. Okay? All right. Thank you guys. As always, remember to the fullest. Keep it off tap. Off tap. Out.
We gotta get out of here. I'll catch you guys later for another vlog.